I just pull up Playbox. Playbox is amazing for a number of reasons. I don't think people talk about it enough, or people are afraid to talk about it, because it seems like it's just an auto, I'm going to make a song just pressing one button. I think it can be used that way for sure, but I also feel like there's this whole other way that people have not really explored. For beginners, this is super quick and easy way to get into music production, right? You just want to make some dope beats and show your friends. You just want to make something cool and show your friends. You just want to make an R&B song right quick. This is the way to do it. And my favorite part is you can create and save your own presets, but you can also have user chords. This is insane, to the point where I have my own file of chords, because I've been working on my own beat pack for a while, but I have a chord pack that I'm working on. In my chord pack, I have, oh my God, I didn't know you could do this. Oh, I didn't know you could play MIDI chords in the preview section. That's insane. All right, so I want to take my MIDI chords and I'm gonna put them as a B major chord, I believe. So now you've heard what that sounds like. What you can do is you can take that and drag it into Playbox. And the way you do that is by coming here, and let me just move this out of the way. All right, yeah. Why does this look so small, bro? I want to make this like, let's go, here we go. Okay, so you take it, you drag it here, right in the center here, and then boom. Because it's only, well, you can do up to 8. I only got 4. So now I can play it on my little keyboard here. And it's the exact same. It comes through, it shows you all the keys you're playing. And now here's where it gets crazy. So this is just my process. This isn't how you're supposed to use it. This is just my process and what I do when I'm using Playbox, right? So start up a project, I'll just come here. I'll just go into effects now. Drop a comment if you want me to deep dive into effects, and I will do that. But yeah, so you turn on effects, and now you've got a nice drum. Now this is the default one. You can hit the random button. That kind of reminds me of Cry Me a River. Now you can take note of this stuff. You can really like get into it. You can go in, you can change how it strums. I really dial this in. Like if I want to continue using Playbox and I want to sound unique, then I have to start dialing stuff in to make it sound how I want it to sound, how I imagine it in my head, how I want the swing, how I want all of that stuff. You can go into each tab and really dial stuff in, and each tab has more than one effect, right? So for example, you have strum, where you can go into grain for the more sound designy thing, right? You can change the preset for grain. Now bear in mind, I'm showing you this at a granular level, right? But I just want you to see where you can take this. Like you can up, you can, this just keeps going. And obviously I'm in piano mode right now. This gets really crazy when then you add in the sounds. But I want to show you one more thing that I really love about the effects section. So this is how you dial in everything, right? You can hit the random key, get some really cool effects. Because what I'll do is I'll record these and resample them, and then that's my effect for the song, right? I'll deep dive this if you guys want me to. So remember, comment. But the point I'm trying to make here is that you can now, right, with this, just go in here, just like you can with the chords. You want some lo-fi effects? Here's some lo-fi effects. There's some improvements they could make here, like a search function, because this only works with your presets. They didn't miss a step here. I'm not sponsored. They don't know my name, right? I just really, really, really like this plugin. Like this is one of my favorite sound design plugins. You can, it looks like my chords got removed, so I'm trying to drag them back in. what I did there. But in order to stop that from happening, which is a great segue, is that you can just hit this padlock here. So no matter what you do, I think when I changed my piano, it changed my chords. You can make sure that that stays the same, and then you can go through all the pianos and keep your chords. Okay, so now that we've discovered that, when you drag in your own chord progression, you can now use this to go up an octave. An octave here. Go down. And I know it says +1, +2, -1, -2, but what it really means is +12. It's one actual octave. So you're going up 12 semitones, right? And it's also got a halftime just like slapped on the front here that you can just hit. So sometimes I'll like do dumb stuff, like I'll go up by 2 and then I'll halftime it. And when you put halftime on, it slows down the up, it slows down the effects, it slows down everything, and it comes out cool. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk about the one of the cooler parts that people probably care more about, and that's the samples. The samples. Now I'm gonna talk about the way I use samples. Now, I guess before we move forward, I should talk about this and what this is. I just figured that anyone that's used Playbox would already know this, but this is literally just a randomization for the sound, effects, and chords. But whatever's padlocked won't change. So let's just try it out. Boom. Don't, that's too much verb. What you'll notice, if you pay close attention, is that they're actually messing with stuff like the delay here, the reverb here. This is all being affected, but just on the more simple interface. If you don't want to dive in and you just want to use anything that's in here, and you can tell that because if I hit this random button, you'll notice that the effects change on the front. I love this plugin. It's just so good. So now we're still talking about sounds. We haven't even scratched the surface. Yeah, we got the randomizer. And you just keep going. So I might go, oh man, that's got too much tape sound. Take down the heat a bit. So anyway, I would have my own chords in there. Then I would go into the samples. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, yeah, but you know, all you did was like, just put your chords in there and then you're just like taking samples and... Alright, I got you, bro. What you can do here is you can change each sound individually, but you can change it line by line. So for example, this is a full rack of synths, right? Think of them as racks. You can change them in columns or change them in rows to create like a really different sound on each row. Now watch this. You can also randomize the sounds one by one. Not one of them are the same. Oh, but you can also change it to instruments. Boom. Now you've got instruments. They're so low. Let's try something else. So now you're changing, and every time you randomize, you're just taking yourself deeper and deeper down into a sound design. Like, oh, it's insane, right? Basses. You want to just do basses? Let's do basses. Okay. So when you hit the control button, you can switch out each bass individually rather than pressing random. It's like another type of random, but I don't know if you're cycling through them or if you're randomizing them. I can't tell because you can't see, but we'll get into that. So what you can do is when you find one you like, I like this one, you can change all of them by holding down the shift key and just clicking. Now each of them are doing that in their own key that matches your chord progression that you put in earlier. So now I can go, all right, I want voices on this row. So maybe I want this weird voice here. Boom, boom, boom. Done. Now let's listen to it. So even if your whole class of friends or whatever all have this, you don't have to sound anything like them. Just for using the random button and then exploring the sounds. Or you can go one further, right? And I don't want to do this to you guys, but boom. Now you can go in there and you can select your favorite sound. You can save your favorite sound. You can change it to a complete different layer and just have one nice layer on instead of the vocal, and you click it, it's there. So you come out, there it is. You got a noise, and you can do that for every single square. I am sure there's a tutorial out there on how to use this. This ain't really a tutorial. This is more like just how I use it. So I'm gonna go more into how I use it. What I do is slightly different here. So let's just re-randomize this. And I kind of don't want anything here to be crazy. So I want everything to be instruments, right? And then I want a bass at the bottom. And then what we're going to do, actually, I'm going to change this top part to user one. And I'm going to clear it. Now, here's the best part I love about this, right? You want to get really unique with this. If you, like myself, have built up samples, or just for the sake of this video, have one shot. I have one shots. What am I talking about? I have one shots. You can drag as many as you want in, by the way. So, and then you can randomize them. So I could drag like all of my stuff in and then have it in there and then randomly generate it, just like you saw me doing with the default samples, which is awesome. But let's just say we're just using these two, right? So we come out of here now that they've been selected or whatever. That's me right there. But now, boom. See how they changed the key depending on where they are? And if I turn off the effects, so what I would do is I would do that for, I would take one of my instruments. So I'd have my voices up here on user one, user two, I'd have my one shots, user three, I'd have my instrument one shots, user four, I would have like samples, and then I would have like a bass from here or a bass from my one shots or whatever. And then I would make a sound with that. Here, so we'll just take that out, put that there. In user two, we'll put in this loop that I made the other day. And it just converts it to a C#2. And then you just flesh that out. And then I would change this to user 2. Flesh that out. So I might turn off the bass because I don't want it. And then you can go ahead and you can start creating the effects. You know, you could randomize through them. Let me just go to like, trying to open this up some more. Change this to synths. After finding something I like, I can come in here, I can dial it in. Okay, so then I'll just hit the record button. And then you just loop that. And what you can do then is, because I'm recording it on both, is now I can change out the sounds. Boom. And then I could go in and I could layer that with something different just for like having fun. Like sometimes you don't need to make a banger or like the next hit, you just want to have fun. So I would do all of this till I get to this point, and when I'm at this point, I would then go in and I would resample some more, change the pitch, flip it, cut it up, chop it up, throw it into a sampler, put it into my SP. You don't like that, it's endless, right? So you've just come up with like in 5 minutes like a way to completely change your sound, all whilst using the same chord progressions you've used or new chord progressions you never thought of using. Because this thing has taught me chord progressions, and I'll show you how. Okay, I'll open up Kawaii, right? We'll throw that in there. And so you can do this on any DAW, but this is how you do it on Ableton. You just go into Playbox, and then look at this. Go into Chords, and then you just drag the chord progression out. Boom. Chord progression. All right, so the downside to it is that it won't drag it out to the speed that and it drags out every chord. So this is the whole chord progression in its own pace, right? So you'd have to essentially do something like look at the keys you're playing and then assign that to, because each one of these is a chord, right? And then you could be like, okay, so I started with the 1. So I started with number 8. So there it is. And let me just move all these out of the way. Now this sounds like it's a lot, but it's really not, because when you think about it, like this is quicker than any other way to make chords like that are interesting. You would take them out. Boom, you got a chord here. You can see that you played the second one down from that, so that would be this one. Take that here. Let's have a look, listen to that. And then you just keep doing that. That's how I would do it. So now you've got those, and then you just take all of these, take this whole line, join it together, you know, just well, do whatever you want. Now you can create melodies, whatever. And I've just got a loop just like that, and then I would just export that loop, save it into my samples. I got something crazy to pull up the next time I want to make a beat. And I know the chord progression, I have it right here. You know, if I want to do anything great, it's right here. Come on, man. Like, you guys, you can't tell me that Playbox ain't fire. Like, whether you're intermediate, high level, like just beginner, Playbox has got something for everyone. You can dial it in real tight, you can use it the way it is out the box, or you can just change a few things, throw your samples in there, throw your chords in there. It's a no-brainer. And because you get the chords out of it, now you can easily add a quick bass line just to get yourself started. Jeez. And just for fun, like, you know, let me just throw in a drum beat just to see what this really does. And you can just end up with something like a little vibe. You know, or you can change it into a, you know, trap beat, whatever, man. You know what I mean? Do whatever you want. It's your time. It's your music. You know what I mean? That's how I use Playbox. You know, if I need an idea, or I need a chord progression, or I need anything, I always turn to Playbox first, and then I'll move to something else. Or I'll just build my own chords and then throw it into Playbox if I don't have any inspiration one day. If I wake up, I'm not feeling it. I think we all wake up some days and we just don't feel what we're making. or we just don't feel like making something. And I think a good way to help people open up their doors and do what they need to do, you know, to hone their skills, is to have something like Playbox in your back pocket where you can just open it up and be instantly creative. Even if it never comes out, you know, you've made something cool that you could share with your friends, or you've made something cool as a reference track, you know, or you just wanted to make something quickly that you can sing to. Playbox, bruv. All right, comment, like, subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your day. We out.